Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maham and I crochet cute things. Please don't skip the intro because I'm going to go over all the materials that you need for these projects as well as some important notes to know before you start following the tutorial. You can use any yarn size and any hook size. The only difference will be the size of your finished bunny. So for example, I used a 4.5mm hook with my favorite fluffy yarn, and I have linked the exact yarn that I used on my Amazon storefront. The link is in the video description. If you use a thicker yarn with a larger hook size, you'll get a larger bunny. If you use something smaller like maybe DK yarn with a 3 or 4mm hook, you'll get something a little bit smaller. So this is completely up to you. You're also going to need a plastic needle for some sewing because we are going to sew the head, the arms, the body, the legs together. You're also going to need some safety eyes, a different color yarn for the nose. I would recommend that you use I'm just working on another bunny, but I would recommend using a different kind of yarn, so maybe regular yarn for the nose and then fluffy yarn for the body. I think it's just going to make a cute little contrast. And then you're going to need safety eyes, which I've also linked in the video description. Now, before following this tutorial, please make sure that you open the written pattern that's in the video description for reference. Since this is a beginner-friendly tutorial, I'm also going to be showing you how to follow along with the pattern, and this is just extremely helpful to have the stitch counts in front of you, to know which row you're on, and just make it easier for you to work with your project. If you've never worked with a pattern before and you're worried about how it'll go, don't worry, I'll show you everything step by step, and I also have an incredibly useful app to share with you guys that will make crocheting this and other projects much easier. If you're a crocheter or knitter, the Row Counter app is a must-have in your phone. With a wide range of tools, this app can make crocheting and keeping track of your projects much easier. I've got the app open on my phone and the screen recording will pop up over here. For example, you can import patterns from so many different sources like Ravelry, Hobby, a PDF from your device, or even a pattern from my blog. Once you start a new project and you import the pattern, you can set up multiple counters and reminders to help you keep track of your rows. This is so helpful when you're crocheting a project with multiple rows that have the same steps. Like amigurumis, like the bunny that we're going to be doing today, those patterns have very repetitive rounds that you can lose track of pretty easily. You can also annotate, you can draw, add notes, and highlight the pattern that you're working on. For example, look how much easier it is to track which row and stitch I'm working on with the highlighter tool. Rather than me squinting and counting the boxes every time, like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can just keep track of it on the app. If you're unfamiliar with an abbreviation or a term in a pattern, the app also has a glossary in the tools section of the app that will show you what it stands for, so that's very handy. If a pattern says you need 3 skeins of yarn, that's 100 grams each, but the yarn you have only has measurements in yards, then you can use the units converter, which is extremely helpful for measurements, and a wool weight converter, so you can find out what weight yarn you need. Also, there's a whole bunch of amazing free patterns on the app as well. These are some of my favorite adorable plushies that I found that I think you guys might want to try out next. So before you start crocheting along with me, I highly recommend that you download the Row Counter app using the links in the description. It is available on iOS and Android for free. And import the bunny pattern from my blog to your project. And here's how to do that. Click on New Project, give your bunny a name and select crochet. Click Yes when you're asked to import a pattern. Go to Internet, copy the link to my blog in the video description and paste it. So video description, just scroll down, copy it and paste it. Click Import and you're all set. Now you can use the counter to make sure that you don't lose track of your rows. You can add notes, highlight the section that you're working on currently, and just have a much smoother time crocheting this project. Have fun crocheting your bunnies and let me know what you're going to name them in the comments. We're going to go ahead and get started by making a slip knot. I'm going to be using a no magic ring technique every time I start a new part of the bunny's body. So right now we're going to be starting the head. So I made a regular slip knot and now I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to make a fake magic ring, which makes it easier for me to work with fluffy yarn, which can sometimes shed like that. So if you have a similar yarn, I would recommend using this technique rather than making a magic ring. After chaining 3, I'm going to insert my hook into that very first chain that we made at the beginning, and I'm just going to slip stitch. And I know it's super tricky to see, but I'm going to be inserting all of my stitches inside this little hole that's formed in between my chains. So do you see that? Do you see where my nail's poking out? Yeah. So the hole that's formed in between my chains is going to be my fake magic ring. So we're going to chain 1, insert our hook into the circle in between our chains, or if you're using a magic ring, then insert your hook into the magic ring. And for round 1, we're going to be doing 6 single crochets into our fake magic ring or your real magic ring. So pull up a loop and then yarn over and pull through both loops, making a single crochet. That's our first single crochet. Insert your hook back again, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your second. Oh, and don't forget to mark the very first single crochet that you made. So get your stitch marker or bobby pin and mark the very first single crochet you made. So I did 1, 2, I'm gonna do 4 more, so I have a total of 6. I've got the pattern open on the row counter app, and I'm using the counter to just track my rows so I don't lose track of where I am. Once you've got 6 single crochets inside your magic ring, we're going to start round 2. For round 2, you're going to be inserting 2 single crochets in every stitch. Since we're working in continuous rounds, it might be a bit hard for you to count how many rounds you've done afterwards, so I highly recommend just keeping track of which row you're on and how many rows you've done. Insert your hook into that marked stitch, and we're going to insert 2 single crochets into every stitch, starting from this one. When you make your first single crochet, take your marker and place it back through. It's very important to mark the first single crochet of every round. This is our first single crochet of round 2. In that same stitch, I'm going to insert my hook back in and do another single crochet. Now I have 2 single crochets in one stitch. I know it's really hard to see with the fluffy yarn, but that little hole right there is a stitch, and I have put 2 single crochets in there. So this one curve is 1 single crochet, and that second curve is the second single crochet. Now go ahead and insert 2 single crochets into every stitch, and at the end of round 2, you should have a total of 12 single crochets. I've got 12 single crochets, and I'm done with round 2. For round 3, you're just going to insert 1 single crochet in every stitch. So starting from your marked stitch, insert your hook, and we're going to do our first single crochet of round 3, and we're going to place the marker back into that stitch that we just did. Now go ahead and do 1 single crochet in every stitch. That's 1. So remember, just 1 in every stitch, and at the end of this round, you should have a total of 12 single crochets again. Round 4 has a lot of different number of single crochets that you have to do into every stitch, so I would highly recommend just keeping track of which stitch you're working on. We're going to start off by inserting 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So starting from that marked stitch, that's 1. Place the marker back. In the next stitch, I'm going to do another single crochet. Now in the next stitch, we have to do an increase. Whenever you see increase written in the pattern, it means that you need to insert 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So in the next stitch, we have to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. That's what it means when you see an increase. Every time you see an increase, insert 2 single crochets in the same stitch. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And now we have to do an increase in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to be inserting 2 single crochets in each of these. So an increase in the next 4 stitches. That's my first increase, my second, third, and fourth. So I inserted 2 single crochets in each of those 4 stitches. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, an increase in the next stitch, and 1 single crochet in the last 2 stitches. So 1 and 2 in the next stitch. And there we go, that is round 4. I find it helpful to just turn my work this way so I can see what I'm making. Now round 5 is pretty similar to round 4. We've got a bunch of different stitches that we have to do, so please pay attention. Starting from our marked stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet. Please remember to always mark the first single crochet of every round. And in the next stitch, we're going to do an increase. So 2 single crochets in the same stitch for that increase. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just 1 single crochet into each of those. Now we're going to do an increase in the next 4 stitches. So that's my first increase in the next stitch. There's my second increase in the next stitch. That's my third increase in the next stitch. That is my fourth increase. So 2 single crochets into each of those 4 stitches. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to do an increase in the next stitch. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in that last stitch of the round. And there we go. This is what your work should start looking at. Alright, so now the next 4 rounds are pretty easy. From round 6 to 9, so round 6, 7, 8, and 9, you're just going to be doing 1 single crochet in each stitch. I like to call these repeat rounds. So a repeat round is whenever you just do 1 single crochet in every stitch. And repeat rounds are there to build length of the same size. So round 6, 7, 8, and 9, you're just doing 1 single crochet in every stitch. You're going to start off by inserting 1 single crochet into the marked stitch. Don't forget to place the marker back. And then just do 1 single crochet into every stitch. No increases or anything else, just plain old simple 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. Once you're done with the round, just track it so you know which repeat round you're on and so you don't lose track, because this is pretty repetitive. Once again, to start the next round, you're just going to insert your hook into that marked stitch, place the marker back so that you know where your round is starting and ending, and just insert 1 single crochet in every stitch. I'm doing round 7 right now, then I'm going to do round 8 and 9, and then I'll show you what to do next. Now we're going to start round 10. So the pattern for round 10 is that we're going to be doing 2 single crochets, 1 in each stitch. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then we're going to be doing an invisible decrease. I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to start the round like normal. We're going to do our first single crochet and mark it with a marker. Then in the next stitch, we're going to do our second single crochet. And now we're going to do an invisible decrease. So this is basically just like single crocheting 2 stitches together. You're going to insert your hook through 1 loop of the stitch, so the front loop. Push your hook back downwards and grab the front loop of the other stitch as well. Yarn over and pull through these 2 loops. Oops, sorry. And then yarn over and pull through the other 2 loops. I'm going to show you again, so don't worry about it. We're going to do 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, our second single crochet. So that's 2 single crochets. And now we're going to do a decrease. So grab onto, so this is how you'd insert your hook normally, right? You grab onto both of those loops. But for an invisible decrease, you're only going to grab onto one of those loops. Push your hook down and grab onto the loop of the other stitch as well. So you've got 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through both of these 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through the other 2 loops. Just repeat this all the way around. So you're doing 2 single crochets and then a decrease. Now we're going to do round 11, where we're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. So start your round like normal by inserting 1 single crochet into the marked stitch. Then place your marker back. Then go ahead and just do 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. Round 12, we're going to do 1 single crochet and then an invisible decrease. So start your round like normal. That's your first single crochet. And in the next 2 stitches, we're going to do a decrease. So grab onto the front loop and the front loop of the other stitch. Pull through 2, pull through 2, That's your decrease. Now we're going to repeat this all the way around. So you're going to do 1 single crochet and then a decrease. And as you do the decreases, it's going to be a little bit harder to do because your work is going to get smaller and smaller. So I recommend just placing your finger inside so you can get a hold of your stitches as you're working. After I finished doing round 12, I just put in my, so first I added my safety eyes, and then very haphazardly, I just embroidered the nose. So it's supposed to be like a heart shape, but this side turned out much neater than whatever is happening over here. So I'm going to try to fix it later. So round 13, we're just going to be doing decreases. You're not going to be doing any single crochets. So starting from your first stitch, you're just going to do a decrease. And after doing your decrease, just mark it so you know where this round will end. Go ahead and do a decrease all the way around. So in total, you're going to do 6 decreases. Now I'm just going to end my work. Sorry, I'm having trouble with the camera focusing, not sure what's going on. To end the round, I'm just going to slip stitch across, closing it up. Like that, and then we're just going to fasten off. So I usually chain 1 or 2, and then I cut my yarn, pull, tighten, just move the stuffing around, and I'm using my hook to basically push this end inside to hide it. So I'm going to start off by making a magic ring and chaining 1. You're going to go ahead and make a slip knot. If you want to make a magic ring and if your yarn doesn't shed, then you can go ahead and make a magic ring. I'm going to make a slip knot and chain 3. And I'm going to slip stitch into the first chain. So very similar steps to what we did for the head. Then I'm going to chain 1, and now we're going to insert 6 single crochets for round 1 into your fake magic ring or into the real magic ring. So insert your hook and single crochet. Since this is the first single crochet of round 1, please take your marker and mark it. Don't forget to do this step. It's super important to mark your first single crochet of every round. Go ahead and insert 6 single crochets into round 1. For round 2, we're going to be inserting 2 single crochets in every stitch so that we have a total of 12 stitches. So I'm going to do my first single crochet and mark it. Now, just like what we did for the head, in that same stitch, I'm going to insert another single crochet, because we need 2 single crochets in every stitch. So in the next stitch, I'm going to do 1, insert my hook back through that same stitch and do 2. For the next round, we're going to do 1 single crochet and then an increase. So insert your hook into that first single crochet and mark it with your stitch marker. That's our first single crochet, and in the next stitch we're going to do an increase. Remember that an increase is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And repeat this all the way around. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch and then an increase in the next stitch. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. So we're going to do our first single crochet, and in the next stitch we're going to do our second single crochet, and in the next stitch we're going to do an increase. I really love making amigurumis because of the repetitive patterns, and it's really easy to get the hang of once you practice a little bit, and then you'll be able to create your own plushies as well. Alright, so one more time, you're going to do 1 single crochet, your second single crochet in the next stitch, and then an increase in the next stitch. Repeat this all the way around. Next round, we're doing 3 single crochets and then an increase. So we're going to do our first single crochet, mark it with a marker, second single crochet in the next stitch, third single crochet in the next stitch, and an increase in the next stitch. And repeat this all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, and increase. Remember to keep using the row counter to track your rows because we have a couple of repeat rounds coming up. Alright, so here we go. We have to do 6 repeat rounds with 1 single crochet in every stitch. I'm just gonna put that there so I know that I'm on my 6th round right now. Insert my hook into the first stitch. And just like what we did for the head, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around, so no increases. You're gonna do this for round 6, round 7, round 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'm done with round 6, doing round 7, starting off in the same way. So I'm going to do my first single crochet of the round, mark it with a stitch marker, and then just go ahead and do 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. All right, now we're going to be alternating between doing a decrease round and repeat round. So a decrease round is where we have decreases, and a repeat round is one where there's only 1 single crochet in every stitch. So round 12 is going to be a decrease round. So we're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, don't forget to mark it because that's the first single crochet of round 12. Then in the next stitch, 2. In the next stitch, 3, and now we have to do a decrease because we want the body to start getting a little bit smaller as at the top. So just do your invisible decrease by going through the 2 front loops, pull through 2, pull through 2, and repeat. So 1, in the next stitch, 2, in the next stitch, 3 single crochet, and then an invisible decrease, where you single crochet 2 stitches together. Now for round 13 and round 14, you're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. Mark your first stitch. I'm doing round 13 right now, and you just do 1 single crochet in every stitch. After you finish round 13, go ahead and do round 14 by also doing 1 single crochet in every stitch. Now we've got to do 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So we're going to do our first single crochet, place your marker, your second single crochet in the next stitch, and then you're going to do your decrease. And repeat. 1 single crochet, second single crochet in the next stitch, and a decrease. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch, no increases and no decreases. Place your marker and go ahead and do 1 single crochet in every stitch, all the way around. Now we're going to do our last round. I would recommend adding your stuffing before you do the last round. We're just going to do 1 single crochet and then a decrease. And yes, you still have to place your marker so that you know that the round is done. So 1 single crochet, and then we're going to do our decrease, and then repeat this pattern all the way around. So normally after you're done with your last round, you would close it up, but I like having this little space to rest the head on, so I'm not going to close it up. I'm just going to slip stitch very tightly into the next 4 stitches. So to slip stitch, you insert your hook through the stitch, pull up a loop, and slide that same loop through. So I did my second, I'm gonna do my third, and there's my 4th. And I'm just gonna stop here. So this is what it'll basically look like at the top. And now I'm ready to fasten off, so I'm just going to chain 1. And I'm going to leave quite a long end because I want to be able to sew with the same, piece of yarn. And I'm going to pull, tighten, and you're done with the body. To make the feet, you're going to once again start off with the same steps that we always start off with. You either make a magic ring or you're going to chain 3 and make a fake magic ring. Insert your hook into the first chain and slip stitch and chain 1. Now make sure that you've got your stitch marker with you. We're going to insert 6 single crochets into the center of our magic ring, and don't forget to mark the first stitch with a marker. So 6 single crochets for round 1. We're going to start off by inserting 2 half double crochets into that first stitch. So to make a half double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that stitch, remove your marker, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and that is your first half double crochet. In that same stitch, we're going to insert another. So we need 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. Now in the next 2 stitches, we're going to be inserting 2 single crochets. And insert 2 single crochets in the same stitch. In the next stitch, repeat the same thing. So once again, 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Now we're going to insert 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. So that's 1, and in that same stitch, insert another. Now we've got 2 stitches left, and in both of them, we're going to insert 2 single crochets. So 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Once again, go back through the same stitch. Now we've got 1 stitch left, and in that, we're going to insert 2 single crochets as well. And that is the end of round 2. Round 3, we're going to start off by inserting 2 single crochets in the same stitch for the next 2 stitches. That's my first single crochet. Please don't forget to mark it. In that same stitch, I'm going to insert my second. Now in the next stitch, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to be inserting 1, and in that same stitch, 2. Now in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, we're going to be doing 1 single crochet each. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch, second single crochet in the next stitch, third single crochet. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch for the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. All 3 of these are going to have 2 single crochets inside them. So, and in that same stitch, a second. Now we're going to work into the next. So basically you're doing 3 increases. So that's 1 increase. Let's do second increase, and then let's do the third increase. And then we're going to insert 1 single crochet into these 3 stitches. So we've got 1, 2, and that last stitch, I'm going to do 1 more single crochet. Now, when I was making this foot over here, I had 1 extra stitch. So I don't know, I probably missed one of the stitches on my round. But you have 1 more stitch. You should have 1 more stitch that you need to work into, and in that stitch you're going to do 2 single crochets. But I think I accidentally missed it somewhere over here, and I don't want to unravel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert those last 2 stitches into that last stitch. So basically the last step would be that you have 1 more stitch here, and in that stitch you insert an increase. But I missed it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the increase in that same stitch where I just put that 1 single crochet. So if this happens to you too, just put the increase in the last stitch. Alright, and you should still have 18 stitches as the round pattern says. Now we've got an easy round, so we're just going to be doing 1 single crochet in every stitch. So that's 1. And go ahead and just do 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. And we're back to the next complicated round. So you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So starting from that first stitch, that's 1. In the next stitch, 2. In the next stitch, 3. In the next stitch, 4. In the next stitch, 5. And then we're going to single crochet these 2 stitches together. So that means you're going to do a decrease. And then we're going to half double crochet 2 together. So this is exactly like a decrease. The only difference is that you're just going to yarn over and do your decrease like normal. So you grab onto 2 front loops and you go through 2 of them. And then you're going to have 3 loops on your hook, and you go through all 3. So yarn over, and you're going to do the half double crochet 2 together again. So go through the 2 front loops of the 2 stitches, yarn over and pull through 2 of them, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. Now we're going to single crochet 2 together. It's getting tight. So just do a decrease. Now you should have 5 stitches left, and you're just going to insert 1 single crochet into those 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the next round starts off with a decrease, so you're just going to make a decrease to start off the round, and then place your marker back through that decrease. Then you're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, so 1, and in the next stitch 2. Now we're going to decrease 3 times. So that is 1, 2, and 3. Make sure to do these tightly. We don't want any holes. And if you make your decreases too loose, then you are going to have holes. I am struggling. Okay. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And at the end of this round, you should have 2 stitches left. And you're just going to do a decrease to end the round. And there we go. Oh, that was hard. All right, don't worry, just 2 more rounds to go. We are going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches to start off this round. That's 1, 2, 3. Now we have to single crochet 3 stitches together. So it's just like a decrease, but instead of picking up 2 loops, you're going to pick up these 3 loops over here. So yes, this is going to be tricky if you've never done this before. So that's 1 loop, the other loop, and 1 more loop. So just like how you would pick up the front loop for your decreases, just pick up the front loops of the next 3 stitches. Okay, got it. Now you're just going to yarn over, pull through all 3 of these loops. Okay, you should have 2 loops left, and then yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. We did it, yay! Now we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. You should have 2 stitches left, but you're just going to do a decrease to end this round. I am so tired of decreases. We have no more decreases in the last round, so you're all done. In our last round, we are just doing 1 single crochet in every stitch. So just go around doing 1 single crochet in every stitch, and you can also add your stuffing. Once you've added your stuffing to fill it up, you're just going to close up your work, insert your hook. So look, you've got 1 single crochet and another single crochet on the other side. So insert your hook through both of these like that, and single crochet. Now insert your hook through the corner. So you've got 1 stitch here, 1 stitch there. I know it's super hard to see, but you don't have to go exactly through the stitches. Just go through the corner. So make sure you're going through both of the pieces, and single crochet. And there we go. You will be all done. I'm just gonna chain 1, and I'm gonna leave a bit of a length so that I can sew this in with my needle. Pull and tighten, and you're all done. To make the ears, once again, we're going to get started by following the same steps we've been doing for all the other pieces. Make a slip knot, chain 3, make your fake magic ring, or if you are working with a regular magic ring, then make that instead. And for round 1, we are going to make 6 single crochets into your fake magic ring or your real magic ring. So 6 single crochets for round 1, and don't forget to mark the first single crochet off your round. We are following a very repetitive and similar pattern, so go ahead and just repeat the same steps you've been following previously. The pattern for round 2 is 1 single crochet and an increase in the next stitch. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, mark it with a marker. Then we're going to do an increase in the next stitch, and you're going to repeat this all the way around. So you're going to do 1 single crochet and then an increase. Please see the total stitch count in brackets, and you can check if you have the right stitch count at the end of round 2 to make sure that you're on the right track. Round 3, very similar steps that we're following. You're going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. That's my first single crochet. and in the next stitch I'm going to do my second single crochet. In the next stitch I'm going to do my third single crochet, and in the next stitch I'm going to do an increase, and we will repeat this all the way around. For the next round, once again, something super similar. We're going to do 3 single crochets and then an increase. So in the first stitch, we've got 1 and we're going to mark it. Then we're going to do, in the next stitch, we're going to do our second single crochet. In the next stitch, our third, and in the next stitch, an increase, and repeat this all the way around. For round 5, 6, 7, and 8, you're just going to be doing 1 single crochet in every stitch. And you're going to repeat the same steps for these rounds. So you're going to start off by doing your first single crochet and marking it. This is very, very important so you don't lose track of where your round starts and ends. And then just go ahead and insert 1 single crochet in every stitch. And don't forget to keep track of your rows. As I said before, repeat rounds are very easy to lose track of. Done with round 5, we're going to repeat the same steps for round 6. 1 single crochet in every stitch, and then you're going to repeat this for round 7 and 8 as well. When you're working on your ear, please keep in mind that we are going to be folding it, so this is the shape that your ear will have. We're going to be starting with round 9. This is going to be a decrease round, so we're going to start off by doing 1 single crochet. The pattern is going to be 3 single crochets and then a decrease. So we've got 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to do our second. In the next stitch, we're going to do our third, and then we're going to do an invisible decrease like before. So you grab onto your 2 front loops of the next 2 stitches, pull through 2, and repeat this all the way around. So 3 single crochets and then a decrease. Now round 10 and round 11 will be repeat rounds. So you're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch for the next 2 rounds. So once again, round 10 and round 11, 1 single crochet in every stitch, no increases and no decreases. Now it's time for another decrease round. So we are going to do 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So you've got your first single crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to do your second single crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to do your decrease, and then you're going to repeat this all the way around. 2 single crochets and then a decrease. Now round 13 and round 14, again, repeat rounds. So you're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch. Remember to please keep track of how many repeat rounds you do. Now we're going to do last decrease round. So we're going to do 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So that's our first. And in the next one, we're going to do our decrease. And repeat this all the way around, 1 single crochet and then a decrease. And there you go. Now we are ready to end our work. So just remove your stitch marker, fold your bunny's ear in half like this. You don't have to insert any stuffing. We want the bunny's ears to be pretty flat. And then you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, 1 on each side. Insert your hook through both the pieces like that and single crochet. Very similar to how we joined the other piece together. Insert it through the other 2 stitches that are right next to the ones where you just worked. Single crochet, and you are all done. Now you can just chain 1 to fasten off. Get your scissor, make sure to leave a little bit of yarn for the sewing. Cut and pull and tighten, and you are all done. Go ahead and make another one of these by following the written pattern for reference, and you have your bunny's ears. So the tutorial was getting so very repetitive, so follow the pattern to make 2 little arms. It's the exact same steps as all the other pieces that we've made, and then you can sew all the pieces together, oops, and you'll have your bunnies, your cute little floppy bunnies. For the sewing, I used a plastic needle, and I just went into the stitches and through the piece to sew it on. So regular sewing, nothing special. When I was adding the legs, I just did it on the round that's a little bit close to the bottom. The arms went right below the head, and the ears are starting from round 7 of the head. So you've got round 1, that's round 7, and I sewed the ears right over there, leaving around 6 stitches in between. So if you're confused about where to place the ears, that's what I did for mine.